Episode 4 of Season 2 of 1923 is titled Journey the Rivers of Iron, and mostly it's about why these people are willing to fight and just how much any given one of them has to live for. Hi, I'm Admiral Teague. Do me a favor, hit those like and follow buttons and I'll get you up to speed on 1923. Here's the deal. In Montana, winter's still holding on as Taylor Sheridan resets the stakes. There's a lot of nonverbal storytelling, particularly in Tiona and Spencer's arcs. Tiona's story is highly visual, while Brandon Sklenar, who's the Batman we deserve, exudes grit and stoicism, playing Spencer like the Hemingway character he's always been. This episode, the plot threads aren't quite as interwoven as they've previously been. With very little exception, what we do is join up with someone and get as much of their story as we're going to get this time. Once again, there were some parties we don't check in with at all, not that they were really missed. After a slow, female-centric episode 3 where we never saw our Bozeman bad guys, this one opens up with Timothy Dalton's Donald Whitfield commanding a robber baron soiree that hits you like The Godfather meets The Shining. He's giving a masterclass in being a villain in the opening, with great dialogue and some fun visuals to keep his guests up to speed. His speaking voice is compelling and draws you in. When you see Whitfield in his element with all the other rich creeps, it's obvious he's the top dog. He's powerful, yet subdued. Very believable as a sick and dangerous man who values a blanket more than the life of any human being. Whitfield unveils a shrewd plan to exploit Yellowstone National Park for year-round tourism, a scheme that history shows us will succeed, whether Whitfield survives its fallout or not. It's worthwhile to note that what Whitfield is offering is actually a pretty fair deal, and that despite being ruthless, his plan is completely legal. Soon enough, one of his cronies questions if anyone would even want to ice skate or ski, whether there's an airport nearby or not. But Whitfield shows he's highly skilled at the art of the deal. The chilling sequence left me wondering what ruthless deed secured Whitfield's sway over these wealthy investors, or the politicians he confidently says will do his bidding. By the end, every power player buys into his dream. In New York's Grand Central Station, Alex gets beat down in the ladies' room by some guy with a Texas accent who moved to the big city just to commit petty crimes. She somehow manages to catch the train out of town with her few remaining possessions. Her short sequence is coherent but dull. Without Spencer, she's unengaging, and the poorly rendered and presented New York backdrop drags her arc down further. I wish Grand Central Station were this empty when I'm on my way to work. It's a sterile and unimaginative rendering, and the cleanest I've ever seen the place. It's like they forgot that the term Grand Central Station is in and of itself a metaphor for a really hectic, packed, and crazy place. It's a little ridiculous, and in the end, best forgotten about. At the Yellowstone Ranch, Zane and his family are finally safe from the police. This is something the show does in a lot of episodes. 1923 gives you subtle reminders of how things have mostly changed for the better in the 100 years since. For me, this is optimistic. Sure, things will never be perfect, but it's a far more tolerant world than it was in 1923 when Zane and Alice's marriage was illegal. Zane's survival hinges on a risky surgery. The eerie sequence works. It creeps you out exactly how Taylor Sheridan was looking to, though Zane's quick recovery is more than a bit convenient. Post-op, he thanks the doctor and asks Jake when they're going to get their revenge. After what he's been through, he is quite motivated. In the same house, Jack and Liz's bond strains under her brutal rabies treatments. Jack's uncle, Jake, shares a tender moment with Liz, endorsing her dream of wintering in Boston once the ranch is secure. As she reconsiders, the doctor reveals she's pregnant against all odds. It's a rare win for Liz. While the original Yellowstone show is over, the story is going to continue with a new group of characters from the East Coast heading to the Bozeman area in a show called The Madison. I can't help but wonder if Liz and Jack still are just going to leave after all this and end up being the ancestors of the characters we'll meet in the Madison. It's just a guess, but you heard it here first. There's already reporting on this, so while the show's title may change because it was originally called something else before they started calling it the Madison, it's going to star Michelle Pfeiffer and it's going to pick up where Yellowstone left off. Anyway, back to 1923. In Texas, Spencer's nabbed by the cops, who know all about him because of Luca, who's likely dead by now. Forced by the cops to finish the bootlegging run to catch bigger fish, he's thrust into a chaotic shootout. Amidst the fray, he escapes, kicking off a fun chase around Dallas where he ultimately makes his way to a rail junction and starts dodging oncoming trains to escape. The police know his actual name, but whether they'll pursue him or not is unclear. Spencer only thinks he's safe though, soon realizing there's a small band of hobos in the same boxcar. They're going to leave him alone, for now. But all three of them are weird and malevolent. At a hotel in Bozeman, Banner tells his wife he'll chase the American dream for their family, ethics aside. She backs him fully, and he meets with Whitfield, who's plotting to use the national park as a lawless dumping ground for his enemies. His girlfriend Lindy's victim is the first casualty in this unpoliced void where Whitfield deems no crime exists. Tiona, savoring life on the plains, eyes the rodeo as a possible payout for her skills. Alone at the rodeo, she's frozen when she spots her wanted poster. Runs' horse shows up holding another wanted poster. They leave hastily, and it looks like they're going to have to start actively fleeing again. Back with Spencer, he's been attacked in his sleep by three weirdos who want his stuff. Or worse. Messing with Spencer has pretty much been a one-way ticket to the next life, and this time it's no different. He gains the upper hand and drops the two hobos with his double-barreled shotgun, and then decks this insane knife-wielding feral girl before leaping off the train to hike onward. This brisk, fierce action sequence ends the episode. Episode 4 ramps up the action and momentum. Whitfield's return after a villain break doubles down on his sinister foresight, fraying his ties to Banner Creighton. With Zane mending, Jack and Liz holding firm, and Spencer nearing Paradise Valley, Jack's reinforcements for the Whitfield clash are on the way. Will Spencer and Tiona somehow meet and team up to head north? There's just enough suspense around this part of our tale, but I think that's what's going to happen. Everyone's still pretty much headed for the Yellowstone, framed by stunning visuals, especially that cattle drive. The editing snaps are quicker than last week, and there's a slightly different feel to episode 4. The season, now half done, seems to be more and more about Spencer's return. If he doesn't make it home by some point in episode 6, the whole story is at risk of lagging. Spencer being stuck in Texas for the third straight episode was sort of concerning too. We spent most of the show 1883 just circling around Dallas, so I really hope that he's at least made it to Oklahoma. This outing ditches the New York backdrop that just never worked, and what a relief. It also skips Girl Boss Fawcett, Marshall Kent, and Father Renault, and I didn't miss them. The B story wraps up fast with the wanted posters, keeping it brief but hard-hitting. Before I give a letter grade on this, I just want to quickly say, this is worlds better than any Disney Star Wars or modern Star Trek or MCU stuff. I mean, it would break the ratings chart for them. It would be beyond an A+. But in the world of Taylor Sheridan, I have seen better episodes of 1923. And now that we're at the halfway point, it looks like it's probably going to be impossible for Season 2 to really top or catch up to Season 1. But it's still a really good story. I give it a B. In context of the other Yellowstone shows. It's still really good. You're going to enjoy it, trust me. Anyway, I'm Admiral Teague. Hit those like and follow buttons, maybe the notification bell. Drop me a 1923 comment if you can, and let me know what you think of Season 2 so far. Thank you so much for your time and for listening to my review. I'll see you next time when I recap and review Episode 5 of 1923. I'll see you out there.
How dare you?